Hello everyone, it is Erin Fleto here, and I am here with another 10 types video. You guys gave me a ton of recommendations in my last video because I begged and pleaded with you all. So I am back with a 10 types of project management trackers. So a couple of these are very obvious. Some of these I got from Notion and other types of online tools that you can kind of create in your bullet journal as well. And some are from things that go on in the community. So the first, again, very obvious, is a Kanban board. This is extremely, extremely popular. I've seen them all sorts of places. Most types of companies, when they institute some sort of project management, they introduce a Kanban board. And this actually happened at my own work. I thought it was silly because at work, I really, really like to use electronic forms, but I can see the purpose of having a visual representation on a wall. However, we have TVs at the office, so I wish they would have just put it on a TV, but that is neither here nor there. If you want to do it in a bullet journal, a Kanban board is very easy. Basically, all you have to do is create buckets or categories of what types of phases that an item moves through from beginning to completion. So for example, I did a video Kanban board, so requested videos. So for example, this video was requested by all of you. So right now I am currently filming said video. After this, I will be filming B-roll. After that, I will be editing the video. So it's taking your note and moving it forward to each step of the process. And then once you have it done, you can put it down here. Usually at that point, you just go ahead and take it off. But you can also create a list of the items that you've done down here. Something that is static, because when you start to put all of these little sticky notes, it'll get really cluttered. But if you want to see everything that you've completed, I would definitely put a list down here, because that will be a static list at that point and you don't need to move it all around. So I have it broken up into two sections. When it's like in progress, when I'm like actively working on the project, when I'm editing, and when I have completed the video. So that's the idea of a Kanban board. The next one is project-specific action items. So this is really easy because it's very similar to just a regular to-do list, but it has to do with the project. And then you can add priorities to those action items. And action items is another fancy name for to-do list. That's what we call it in the federal government, is action items. So the project, this is actually a true life example from something that I am working on at work. So we have a credentialing audit. Basically, the people that go out into the field for doing environmental type of work, doing inspections, they have to have certain types of credentials. And then every single year we do an audit of those credentials to make sure everyone has their training appropriate, that they're maintaining everything that they need to maintain those credentials. And that happens on an annual basis. So we have different priorities for different types of action items. So doing a first round audit, which was completed, and I have a due date and then mark the completion, that was a priority high, because that's the first step of the entire project, is to do an audit in the first place to make sure that you know where your problem areas are. Then you do a second round audit to fix any mistakes that you found during the first audit. You do the fixes. For us, we also have a secondary check on us where we complete an audit, and then another group completes the audit on us. So this is just like a sample timeline. And then some of the outcomes from that project, we found out a bunch of people retired, so I have to put a list together. And so that's like a lower priority, but it still needs to get done in conjunction with the project. So that is the project-specific action items with prioritizing. The next one, a lot of you guys know in this community, is the 100 Days project. So you pick a project that you want to do every single day for 100 days, and then you hopefully complete 100 days worth of that project. So I have project, for example, paint daily. I know a lot of people have other types of projects, design daily. They want to do paint a canvas daily. They want to write a book, start writing daily. So it's kind of more, it's like kind of in line with NaNoWriMo. So I have these 100 squares, and then I just have a very simple checklist where it's completed and not complete. So I just went across here, and every single day that was completed, I marked in. And so the idea is if you do want to complete the 100-day project, even after the 100 days, you would count how many non-completed days, and then you would just add that to the end of your tally. So that is the 100 days project. The next is a project overview. So you have kind of an executive summary of what the project entails. Again, this is based on the credentialing audit that I'm working on, what the problems are that led to doing this project or that you found from the project, potential solutions to those problems. For example, retired individuals are still in the system, so we need to update our SOP so that, and that's standard operating procedures, so that we can find out when retirements are happening before they retire. That way we can mark it in the system accordingly. What the outcome is that you want as a result of this project, and then the action items for that project. So this is just everything down on one sheet, and it really helps to have your action items with all of this other stuff, because then you can kind of keep referring back to why you're doing this project, and action items that may come up as a result of those problems, action items that may come up when you try to figure out solutions. So these may be things that you fill in over time, the problems and solutions. The next one is with progress bars or any sort of progress circle, whatever. So we have a section for what the objective is and the key results to meet that objective, and then your progress bar for those results. So for example, I have reduced order processing times. This would be for my shop, for example. One of the ways to do that is to hire an employee. And then another way to do that is to print and cut larger quantities of stock. I am working on hiring someone, by the way. If you're interested, definitely let me know in the comments down below. I opened it up to my patrons first, but I will be hiring someone for a short-term position, by the way. So it will probably be about 2 months, $15 an hour, 5 hours a week kind of timeline. So that's what's going on there. Just an FYI for you all. But that's the idea with the progress bars. And then the next one is goals, projects, tasks. So this is kind of the same idea, except it allows you to break down different types of tasks for it. You could do this in, I ordered it this like horizontally, but you can do it vertically as well. So the goal is reduce order processing times. Like I said, the project would be to hire help. So that's an example of that. And then there's tasks involved in hiring the help, right? So you have like, doing the job posting, interviewing, hiring, onboarding, blah, blah, blah. So you can like work on those tasks from there. More inventory. So one would be to like target what are my most popular items, and then print and cut more of those particular items. And then the others would be more as I receive the order. But for items that are extremely popular, or that, for example, in October, people will be ordering things for October, probably around August. So maybe printing and cutting more of the kits that are specific to like the Ghost Town kit and the Witches kit, because it's more Halloween-y. So the next one is, and then I just did another one for improving website, and then here's some projects that would be involved in improving the website. So that's the idea behind goals, projects, and tasks. The next is getting specific with your project. So for NaNoWriMo, for example, there is an amount of words that you want to write by the end of the month. So you would have the day over here, what your word count goal is, what your actual word count is, and then the content that you completed. So NaNoWriMo is a project. You are working on writing a novel. So this idea is, okay, you don't want to just do action items. You don't just want to do progress bars, anything like that. You want to really focus in on what you are trying to achieve, and that is doing a certain word count per day to meet your goal by the end of the month. And if you are doing less, then you know you need to make it up for the next day. So for example, if I did 50 less words, then I might want to add 50 to the next day. Or I know that I'm not going to have time, so I want to add 50 to Saturday when I may have more time. So that's the idea behind getting specific with your project management. The next is project sprints, and I thought about this because of how you do NaNoWriMo. A lot of people will do these sprints that they will work on just write without thinking for a set period of time, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. Or they start to do, I did like the Harry Potter sprints, for example, that you gain points for every achievement you unlocked. And I think I had a whole video about that, or I talked about it at one point, but I will try to link below what I'm talking about when it comes to the sprints. But the idea behind this is if you have a project that has a lot of recurring tasks, like you have to do the same thing over and over again, but you have to do it on a daily basis. For example, if I have to input something into a database, but there's a new thing that I have to add every single day, that's going to be a common task. So what is the common task and how much time does it take to do that task? And then just having a checklist. So yes, I did that task on this date, and just continually monitoring your sprints. So for example, in my work, I do a lot of referrals between programs and monitoring those referrals. So that's something that a new referral comes about often. So maybe once a week I spend time and I take 15 minutes out of my day and I just send all the referrals at once instead of sending them as I get them. So it's that kind of idea where maybe once a week I am doing this giant set of tasks at that point. The next one is delegations. And so if you are a manager, you know that you can't do everything alone. So sometimes it takes an entire team to do these tasks. So for a project manager, it might help to have a set of delegations and when you're going to check in on those particular tasks. So I have the task, who it's delegated to, and when the next check-in is. So, for example, I have hire a new employee, which I've delegated to Kathleen, and the check-in would be May 1st. If we have not hired someone on May 1st, I'll add the task again. Hire a new employee. Kathleen is in charge. And maybe I will set it out another month to June 1st. So that's the idea of the delegations, is just so that you constantly have an awareness of when you want to try to complete something by, and maybe not even as a due date, but as a check-in. So how is the progress of this particular item going? Hiring an employee could be a very long and strenuous process. So I may want to just do a check-in every month, knowing that that particular task is not going to be completed at the end of the month, but it's a check-in to make sure I don't need to do anything. She doesn't need me to do anything. We're both on the same page. It's just a longer process. So that's the kind of idea of the delegations. And the last one is just a general dashboard. This is kind of similar to the overview, except it gets a little bit more detailed. So you have the particular phases. For example, if this is related to a product that I'm launching, there's planning for that project. There's the development, designing of that project. There's testing the product to make sure that it's meeting all of the necessary requirements. For example, if I were releasing a pen, and I wanted to make sure that I like the color, I'm going to be testing over and over again to make sure that I like the color of the pen. And then there's the launch of said item. So you also can have a budget over here, what the proposed budget is, and then you can compare what the actual budget is, who the team is that is involved, when your projected launch day is, and then the tasks related to each phase of the process. So this is just a quick dashboard that's a little bit more at a glance, and that you can kind of brain dump your most important items here. So that is it for the project management spreads. I hope these types of videos are really helpful for you. I do try to diversify a lot when it comes to these 10 types videos, just so that I can provide some inspiration in a lot of different areas. So I hope that this was helpful for you. Please let me know if you have any other types of videos that you want me to do down in the comments below. And I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.